Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today for a session that will be about looking forward. So, if you actually attended our webinar last around November or October by my colleague, this is actually like a continuation of that. So, like how can you start with your digital transformation journey? So the title actually says it all. Future proof your business 2026 planning with Odoo ERP. So we're not just gonna be talking about the next year or the next 2 years. We're gonna be talking about laying a resilient, powerful foundation for the next decade. All right, so again, I'm John Arimado, your partner manager from Odoo Hong Kong, and I've actually had the pleasure of working with a lot of companies or businesses on their digital transformation journey, especially there in the Philippines. My email is actually on the screen here. It's joar@odoo.com. So please feel free to connect with me after this session. We're gonna be talking about a few big ideas today, this afternoon. So if you have any like quick questions, please note them down on the chatter for our Q&A at the end. All right. And here's a quick roadmap for the next 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. We've actually broken this down into five areas. So, first, the digital imperative, why going digital is no longer optional. Next one would be your digital transformation with Odoo, how Odoo fits into this picture. Third one would be preparing for 2026, the strategic start, the right way to begin an ERP project. Next one is the investment, making a wise long-term financial decision. And finally, your first step with Odoo. Where should you start and how can we help you? So let's start with this big first point, the digital imperative. This is actually a very strong term now, but it means that adopting digital technologies is no longer a nice to have. It's an urgent strategic necessity for survival and growth for your businesses. This shift is actually driven by three key pillars here. So as you can see, we have AI, cloud computing, automation. So I'm pretty sure you're very familiar or aware with AI. So these aren't just buzzwords; they are actually tools that allow your company or your organization to do more with less, and improve agility and build resilience. So what is really the goal? It's to remain competitive, enhance operational efficiency, and of course, to meet those ever rising customer expectations. And this is the new core business strategy. So the key idea here is that our businesses wouldn't be left behind. Now, let's bring it home to the Philippines. So what does this look like in the Philippine market or Philippine setting? We're actually seeing four major trends. First is the accelerated digital transformation. So the pandemic was actually a major catalyst on this one. Actually, even before the pandemic, there's a lot of like government push for private organizations or private companies to really push for digital transformation or digitalization. So now, efficiency is not just really recovering; it's a permanent goal. Second one is the MSME powerhouse, which actually make up around 99.63% of Philippine businesses. And of course, they all need scalable, accessible, and integrated technology. Third one is the move toward integration. And businesses are actually tired of this siloed operations. You can have your sales data separate from your inventory or warehouse, separate from your accounting. So there's really a high demand for all-in-one platforms. Next one is the localization advantage. So it's very crucial to have software customized for local compliance, especially with local tax laws from BIR, labor regulations, and cultural workflows. These four pillars actually tie into the ERP awakening, where more businesses are realizing ERPs are not just for global clients, giants, or global customers, but they are essential tools for local competitiveness. So perhaps before, like micro or small businesses or companies thought that systems or ERPs are just for international companies. But now it's very clear that it's not. Smaller companies can actually take advantage of using a system for their companies too. So next slide here, as you can see, it's actually a mix of micro, small, medium, large enterprises. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with some of these companies or brands that we've been working with for the past couple of years. Now, what are the common challenges or roadblocks? So we actually see three main challenges. So first, we have the digital know-how. So business owners or key decision makers would think, where do you start? Who will guide you or help you? That's where partners like us come in. Second one is the what we call decision paralysis. So sometimes having too many options or different software or systems, it actually makes your decision making delayed. Next one is the budget. So digital transformation is an investment. So I would like to highlight that not an expense. So it's really an investment. But managing the total cost of that project, of that digital transformation journey is really important. So our goal today is to give you clarity to overcome these challenges. Okay. By the way, if you have any questions, just send them on the chatter and then we'll answer them later after the end of my presentation. So what really is ERP? When we talk about deep lasting digital transformation, we are actually talking about ERP or enterprise resource planning. So it is actually the backbone of a modern business. It does three critical things. First, it integrates every department or teams from finance to procurement into one single ecosystem. Second one, it replaces manual, error-prone workflows with real-time, coordinated information flow. Lastly, by eliminating data duplication, it gives you a true single source of truth for every decision making. So ERP is about making your operations harmonious and seamless, not complex. So basically, an ERP helps you unify, automate, and optimize your business. This brings us to the core of our solution and, of course, the topic of our discussion for today, for this afternoon, which is Odoo. Odoo is a really, really powerful ERP. It's an all-in-one management software. We actually pride ourselves on building a system that is very beautiful and very easy to use. So what does it mean for your business? So if you have Odoo as your system, you actually get to focus on your core business because you save time, you save costs, you increase your productivity, and you automate tasks, and of course, you minimize the errors. So basically, Odoo handles the rest, and this is what we call efficiency. And while Odoo is focused on local solutions, we are actually a global platform. So right now, we have 19 offices worldwide, and our office for Asia Pacific region is actually in Hong Kong. Additionally, we have over 5,000 official partners, some that I work with, and we have more than 12 million happy users worldwide. So you see, Odoo is really growing exponentially, ensuring your investment is secure and future-proof. And actually, this coming May, we'll be opening the office in the Philippines. So finally, it's happening, it's really happening. Again, as you can see on the next slide here, these are some of the companies or brands that we've been working for the past couple of years. So they actually use Odoo differently. Some of these customers actually use Odoo for accounting modules. Some are using Odoo for HR, sales, marketing. So you see, Odoo is very modular, which actually brings me to the next point of our topic today. So Odoo is very modular. You can use several applications or modules that are already standard within Odoo. So as you can see here on the left side of the screen, I'm not sure Well, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with some of this single-purpose software that are actually being used by different companies across different industries. Like we have for accounting, for scheduling, for sales, what else? For productivity as well. And as you can see, since they are not really connected, you have to make sure or you have to integrate them with one another. That is actually represented by the lines that you see here on the diagram. So it actually takes time and effort and of course additional costs to do that. On the other hand, on the right side of the screen here, Odoo is an all-in-one management software solution. It's a centralized platform that really covers end-to-end from accounting, sales, purchasing, marketing, even e-commerce. And that is actually the beauty of using Odoo. Back to our point that Odoo is modular, you can actually start with some modules, let's say sales and website, and then after that you can scale up. You can add other modules once you are ready to scale up. Perhaps some of you are still wondering why choose Odoo over others. First is the reason why the reason is it's a centralized platform. As mentioned a while ago, you don't have to use different systems or software to manage your entire business because Odoo will cover it end to end. Second one is you can choose the apps that you need and you can add more as your business grows. So let's say you want to prioritize your procure to pay process. You can actually do that, and then later on, once you've fully implemented the procure to pay process, and your employees are already comfortable with Odoo, you can do further assessment and plan for the next phase. So let's say after the procure to pay, we can include HRIS and payroll, or even marketing to manage your campaigns, and which will already be linked to your lead generation and customer management. So yeah, as you can see here, we have different modules or applications. So let's say we'll start with sales. We have POS, CRM, sales, and the next one is website. So we have e-commerce, of course, website builder, which is actually very easy to use. You just have to drag and drop. And then appointments, e-learning, even live chat, we also have that. Next is for the operation. So we have inventory, timesheet, project, purchase, rental, and help desk. And then for HR, we have employees, recruitment, appraisal, time off, referral. And then for manufacturing, we have quality, maintenance, product lifecycle management. And then for marketing, we have social marketing, SMS marketing, even Odoo bot, and you can also manage your events. And then for finance, we have invoicing, accounting, expense, approval. And then lastly, we have what we call Odoo Studio that will actually allow you to customize depending on your workflows. Next point is the user friendliness of Odoo. So as you can see here, as mentioned a while ago, we cover complex business needs with an extremely user-friendly interface. And this is actually one of the main advantages of using Odoo. I've actually talked to a lot of business owners and end users, and I'm actually proud to say that they have this common feedback about Odoo that is very user-friendly. So as you can see on this diagram, Odoo is in the first quadrant, meaning we have a high rating in terms of user friendliness and business scope. Next is the flexibility that Odoo offers to our customers. Flexibility specifically for the Philippine setting is very critical. So we can do further customizations and developments to cater to your business needs. Of course, with the help of our local partners or implementers. So I'm not sure how many of you guys today are top withholding agents or TWA or large taxpayers. So if your company falls under these categories, you're very familiar with BIR CAS accreditation, which is very, very tedious. But of course, with the help of Odoo experts and your local partner, this will be very achievable. We actually have a lot of clients that already have BIR CAS accreditation from F&B, retail, trading, etc. So again, if you have any questions related to this localization or like BIR CAS accreditation, please message your questions down below, and then we'll answer them at the end of my presentation. Now, to make it more relatable to some of the attendees today, let's take a look at these two real-world examples. So first one is trading industry. So this is actually like the typical workflow or core workflow for trading industry. So we'll start with purchasing, and then after that we'll receive the items or products, and then of course we'll start selling to customers, and then the delivery down to invoicing. So how do our apps would help your workflow or your business? So of course, as mentioned a while ago, it's very scalable. Odoo is very scalable, so we can start doing it by phase one. I mean, this core modules for phase one, and then after that, we can do it by in the phase two, like for HR, marketing, etc. So for this particular example, so of course, everything starts with the customer. So Odoo CRM centralizes all interactions, allowing you to send personalized promos that turn leads into loyal clients. And then when you're ready to sell to your customers, Odoo Sales generates proposals in seconds, and then automatically calculates the taxes and manage the discounts and deliveries across multiple locations with ease. And then next one is the Odoo inventory app. So it actually gives you real-time visibility across all your warehouses. This connects directly to the Odoo purchase, which actually compares vendor prices, and it automates reordering. So your shelves are always full without overspending. Finally, we have here the accounting module. So we would want to take the headache out of Philippine accounting. So Odoo is localized for VAT and BIR requirements, automatically generating reports or critical documents like BIR Form 2307. And then, of course, by automating your reports and cash flow, you stop worrying about compliance and start focusing on scaling your business. So that is for the trading industry example. So next one is for the manufacturing. So this one, it's a bit different from the first industry. So we have here from purchasing to receiving, and then the actual production or manufacturing step, and then selling to customers, and then delivery down to invoicing. So these are the suggested apps or modules in Odoo for this particular workflow for manufacturing industry. So the key here is really to have smooth integration. So many Philippine businesses still face challenges like a manual manufacturing system or manual inventory, and Odoo addresses this with first of course sales. So we need to streamline the receipt and processing of customer orders to optimize the production flow, and it is also essential to manage pricing, discounts, and tax computations in strict accordance with local regulations. And then next is for the purchase app. Efficient supplier management is very key to ensuring the on-time delivery of materials or items, and implementing an automated reordering system based on stock levels will help us avoid production delays and shortages. Next one is the inventory. It is really vital to maintain real-time updates for both raw materials and finished goods across all warehouses. This will ensure that we prevent stockouts while avoiding the cost of excessive unused inventory. Next one is the manufacturing app. Of course, the production process must be well organized, covering everything from BOM or bills of materials, and of course, scheduling to order status monitoring. And then next one is the quality control. So consistent quality checks during your production step or production process is very critical as well to ensure that our products meet high standards and to minimize the defects. So I added here the barcode system. It's actually part of the features of Odoo. So utilizing a barcode system will accelerate inventory and production tracking. And scanning is significantly more accurate and efficient than manual data entry, of course. And again, lastly, we have the accounting. For accounting setup, it must comply with Philippine taxes and regulatory requirements. Accurate financial reporting and the ability to generate tax compliant documents or reports are, of course, essential for smooth audit and compliance processes. Okay, so those are the two samples. So I hope some of you guys can relate to those two examples that we discuss. First one is the trading industry, and then the next one is the manufacturing industry. All right, now let's move into our next section, the strategic start. A successful ERP implementation starts with, of course, the right people. So it's really important to find the right partners or Odoo experts. And of course, with all the things that I've discussed previously on my slides, I'm pretty sure that you're already convinced that Odoo is a really powerful tool for your business. But it's also really a matter of finding the right partner or implementing partner. So here you can see how it actually looks like, your Odoo project journey. So we'll start with the project qualification or process mapping, and then we'll move on to the solution demo, which is actually provided, which can be provided by the partner or me. And then after that, we'll proceed with the commercial side, where we do the proposal signing, and then of course we do the kickoff after that and planning, and then we'll proceed with the implement, and finally go live. The first step here on this diagram is actually the most important. So again, you have Odoo, the powerful software, and then you have the Odoo partner as well. Again, choosing the right partner is very critical for success. As I've said before, they should be your business partners. Now, let's deep dive into the importance of project qualification or process mapping. In ERP world, business process mapping or BPM, or some call it business process review or BPR, are actually the blueprint. Without them, you're essentially like trying to automate the chaos, which usually just results in faster or more expensive chaos. Why it's very critical for success, skipping the mapping phase or this first step is actually one of the top reasons why ERP projects fail or go over budget. Here's why it matters. So again, Odoo is very flexible, which is actually a double-edged sword. So if you don't map your processes first, you'll actually be tempted to do a lot of customizations or development to basically replicate your old ways or old workflows. The rule of thumb here, if Odoo standard flow handles 80% of your needs or your requirements, is usually better to change your processes or to challenge your internal workflows to fit the system than to rewrite the code or do customizations. Again, mapping will help you spot these opportunities. Just a reminder, we're not saying that customization is bad and that we shouldn't, do it. We just really need to ask ourselves, assess our current workflows, if these customizations or developments are really necessary. Lastly, it also has a big impact on the user adoption afterwards. Of course, people, you know, hate change, especially when it feels forced. So when employees sees a process map that will simplify their day-to-day work, they actually buy into the system. It also serves as the foundation for your training manuals afterwards. That's why it's very vital that we do this step and that we do it correctly, of course, with the experts. So before you can configure Odoo, you need to understand where you are and where are you going. So for the as is mapping, this actually documents your current workflows, everything. It identifies bottlenecks, redundant steps, and tribal knowledge, like the stuff that only one person in the company knows. And then for the to be, this actually defines how the process should look inside Odoo. It aligns your business needs with Odoo standard features. Again, with mapping, you can actually see the clear roadmap for your implementers and developers. You can have a defined scope from the first day. End users will know exactly what to expect, and you will have a clear understanding of what data is needed. Now, let's go back to your Odoo journey here and keeping in mind the importance of project qualification and process mapping by, of course, with the help of Odoo experts and your Odoo partners. Um, Again, we will help you in every step of the way. So we're actually trained to do so, and we had several experiences to really make sure that your project will be successful. So again, after the first step here, after the project qualification or process mapping, we can do the solution demo and then finalize the scope, and then we can proceed with the commercials, proposal, and signing. And after that, we can have the kickoff where we have the project sponsors, the main point of contact, project manager, business analyst, etc. And then after that, we'll proceed with the implement, and then after that we can reach the go live, meaning that's the time that you can already start using the system in your day-to-day business. So I actually added here like how it looks like a sample timeline for example for a trading business. So just take note that this is very like standard and very ideal. So for the first step, the project qualification process mapping, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and then solution demo 2 to 3 weeks as well, let's say, and then for the proposal approval within the company, let's say 2 weeks, and then kick off and planning around 2 weeks as well, and then for the implement, let's say 8+ weeks or like 2 months, and then after that we can reach the go live. So yeah, this is actually like a sample timeline for a trading business, just to give you an idea. All right, let's talk about your investment. So again, digital transformation is an investment, not a cost. Of course, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? That's why we really have to make a wise decision and take the right steps. And of course, to make a wise decision, you need a long-term mindset. Think about 5 to 10 years. You're not really just buying a simple software update. You are really buying a scalable system that will serve your business for a decade or a long period of time. Now, let's discuss about the pricing or like the cost implication for this digital transformation journey or project. So let's start with the license. Odoo users per user license pricing. This is actually our structure. So this gives you access to all the applications that you can access anywhere, anytime, with the comprehensive backup policy, customer support as well, and version upgrades. And then for the hosting, as you can see, we have three main options here. We have Odoo SaaS or online, and then we also have Odoo SH or PaaS or platform as a service. For managed cloud with more customization or of course, we have on-premise as well if you want to manage your own infrastructure. So you see, we really offer flexibility in terms of the hosting. And lastly, we have the implementation and maintenance support that will be covered by the implementation partner or local partner. So again, we have these two: costing, license, and hosting that will be covered by Odoo. And then for the implement, support, maintenance, upgrades, that will be covered by the Odoo partner. Let's discuss more about the licenses here. So again, as mentioned, as I've said a while ago, Odoo uses per user license pricing or structure that you can access anywhere, anytime. So we also have comprehensive backup policy, regular version upgrade, support, and you can access all the applications or modules. The key point here on this specific slide is the multi-year subscription. It actually offer extra savings, so you can plan ahead and get more value. Actually, a lot of our customers really offer multi-year contracts to lock in the current best price, mainly to avoid the potential price increase. Okay, so for the hosting, again, we have three options in terms of hosting. First is the Odoo SaaS or Odoo Online. This is actually our fully managed cloud hosting option. So think of this as the plug and play version of Odoo. So the biggest advantage here is the simplicity. So you don't need to worry about managing your servers, handling maintenance, or even performing backups. So Odoo will really handle 100% of the technical heavy lifting for you. Next one is the Odoo SH. So it's very similar to Odoo SaaS version, but it's also cloud hosted by Odoo, but it offers significantly more flexibility. So if your business needs custom modules or specialized features that are not really part of the standard Odoo features, this is your best option. Odoo SH provides built-in staging environments, which are actually essential for development and testing before you go live. This is very ideal for, I would say, medium-sized companies, actually even smaller size companies, up to large companies that want the freedom to customize their system without, of course, the headache of managing your own infrastructure. And of course, our pricing is very transparent, based on the number of workers, users, and of course, disk space or storage and staging environments that you would need. Lastly, we have the on-premise option. With this option, you are actually the captain of your ship. You can host Odoo on your own local physical servers, or choose your own cloud provider, like let's say AWS or Azure. And since you own the environment or the servers, infrastructure, you are also responsible for everything like the security, backups, and maintenance. So that is for the hosting. Now, for the implementation. So, working with an official Odoo partner. So we have several certified partners that have extensive expertise and are trained to handle complex business needs. So perfect shop for large scale projects that have, like, let's say, multiple teams or departments, and also would need custom workflows or migrations, and of course local compliance requirements like what I mentioned a while ago, yung sa BIR. So partners can actually provide end-to-end project management from scoping to roll out, testing, also training, and post-go live support. So they actually build tailored solutions including custom modules and integrations specific to your business processes. And they also have dedicated team that will be responsible to have on-time delivery and quality control. Of course, it's actually a long-term relationship, specifically for continuous improvement, updates, troubleshooting, and strategic advice. So it's really important to choose your trusted partner that will be who will be transparent and in terms of their approach, and also will give like recommendations to you guys. Now, perhaps some of you are still asking yourselves, where should we really start? It's actually very straightforward. So your first step with Odoo is to reach out to our Odoo experts, and I'm actually one of them. And you can start your Odoo journey. I actually have here my appointment link. So if you want to like schedule a qualification call with me or initial discovery session with me, you can scan the QR code here and book an appointment with me. And then after the first step, I can endorse you to some of my partners to help you guys with the project. So I leave it for like maybe 5 seconds so that you can scan and start booking your appointment with me. All right. So again, going back to the Odoo project journey that we have here, again, it's really important to do the first step correctly, and of course with the experts. So yeah, we will have the project qualification call or meeting or discovery session, and then the process mapping, and then after that we will conduct the demo, etc. So yeah, what to prepare for this first two steps that we have here. These are actually some of the like documents or documentation or templates that you need to prepare so that we can also like fit in or make a tailored fit demo for you guys. So yeah, process diagrams or process workflow documentation, some templates like for invoices, proposals, etc. And then of course some reports. So yeah, this is actually the end of our slide for our session for this afternoon. So let's now go to some of the questions that we have on the chatter. Wait. First question here, will there be any price increase soon? For Asia Pacific region, there's no confirmed price increase announcement yet. But actually, in the US, they already announced that they will have a price increase, which is actually around, I believe, 30%. So yeah, that's actually the main point why most of our customers are signing up for multi-year, to avoid that price increase as well, to lock in the current best price. So yeah, but for APAC, we don't have the confirmed announcement yet or date with regards to the price increase, but we don't really know. Our operations are in Australia and the Philippines. Are we still entitled to Philippine pricing? Yeah, for this particular case, we actually follow the higher tier. Like for example, for this case, let's say they have their HQ in the Philippines, but they have like some employees in Australia. We will follow the Australian pricing, not the Philippine pricing. So yeah, it's actually written on our agreement, on our contract. Next question, can we choose a partner to work with? Definitely. Again, as mentioned a while ago, it's really important to choose the best partner that you trust, because it's more of a like partnership than just like a vendor customer interaction. But yeah, because they will be the one really giving you recommendations in terms of your project, and of course it should be a long-term relationship, right? So yeah, you can choose the partner that you want to work with. All right. Next question here. If you are currently on a 1 year contract, can you extend it to a multi-year anytime? Um, We have to actually follow the start date, if I'm not mistaken, before you can um, switch to multi-year. Yeah. We have to follow the start date of your subscription. All right. I think there's no more questions on the chatter. All right, guys. So that's it. Thank you again for attending our webinar this afternoon. I hope that you were able to like have a more better understanding of where you can start. And of course, as I've discussed a while ago, please feel free to connect with me after this webinar so that we can schedule your discover session, your qualification call, meeting, so you can start with your Odoo journey. Thank you again for attending today, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you.